Okay, do you want to hand it back to me now?
I'll do so now. Just hold on.
Okay.
Closed. Okay, there we go.
Okay, thanks. Okay, guys, just have to be patient on this. I'm very sorry. I'm going to give it till Friday. If it's not sorted, but I have to make a plan to change it. And that's going to take a performance as well. They know about it. I've been in, I've done my best, but it's outside my control. I've got the router going. So hope we don't get kicked out. If it does, it's not your fault. It's this side. Just bear that in mind. Okay. Put it down for everyone to see as well. Morning all. Anyway, in the meantime, yeah. Okay. Right, that's half past. Roger, my name's Roger, trading support. And yeah, don't forget, as per always, most guys I think have been here before, know the Interact. It's a trading forum, not a trading class, as per se. That's for Stock Market College. So we discuss, it's very important if you can ask questions if you're not sure about something. Don't just think, oh, I'm scratched the head and I'm frightened to ask. You need to actually ask. And so I can try and assist you going forward. This is more about practical trading rather than going through the details which you learn and the technicals which you learn in the SMC classes. Okay, I'm going to share the screen now. I hope you can all see it. If not, please let me know. Okay, right, here we go. Our past. Okay, just start at the beginning. Probably wondering what happened at the end yesterday, some guys. Well, to be honest, I think we missed a bit of a trading opportunity there. There was big talk about when the dollar yen got to 150, there would be some Japanese government or BOJ intervention. But somehow I missed that boat. Not quite sure why. I'm rather annoyed because as it turned out, there's always a risk. It might not have done so, but we should have maybe thought about buying the yen. I was thinking maybe a 150 sort of sell limit, so 151, say stop loss, maybe 148 TP. As they did intervene, it went down to 147.50 or right about there, a little bit lower before it bounced again. Okay, so I think we missed the boat. So I do beg your pardon there. But anyway, it might not have worked out. In this case, it did. So that was the bounce to start off with. Okay, as it's happened before, normally when they do intervention, they have a big spike. Let's go and show what I mean. Let's go to the dollar yen. Has a big spike, as you can see yesterday, and then it starts coming back up again because it's still fairly weak. So even the government intervention can't sort of completely change the trend around as occurred. So all in all, be careful of the yen at the moment. In other words, try and stay clear of it. Let's take another one I want to look at here, which has been our go-to guy. The guys who stopped out in the profit, which it should have been if you'd been attending the trading room, would have been okay. The guys who didn't adjust the stop loss, just let it run on the off chance it will hit TP sometime, would have been stopped out. Thank goodness for the stop loss. The guys who didn't trade with the stop loss would have been margin called or hurt badly on that big move down. Okay, so bottom line is it looks like if we can get a bit of settling down, this is one to buy again. But I think just stand quietly at the moment. We looked at yesterday and quite rightly voted against doing it just as well as it turned out. So just keep an eye on it. I think the yen is still weak, but just be careful the intervention gets to 150 again. But if that can just give it a bit of time, settle down, maybe we can buy it for move back up again. Okay, just bear that in mind. Okay, just go over the fundamentals before we go any further. Expect a very iffy Wednesday, Thursday, Friday going forward. There's a lot of problems out there. I've been mentioning again in the trading room for some time now, is because of COVID, to get back to work, they lowered the interest rates down to zero, basically, which basically means free money. Why use your cash? You can borrow it for free. When you borrow money, you pay interest. That's the cost. Now, when you take away the cost, why borrow money? Of course you do. Well, unfortunately, it's all very fine, but remember, it's not a gift. You got to pay it back. And it was likely a time where they'd have to stop because inflation gets out of control, increasing those interest rates. And people weren't thinking that far ahead, borrowed up to the hilt on that. Now interest rates go up, and now it's becoming an issue worldwide. Okay, so as a result of it, the markets, as you probably saw, were very choppy yesterday. We got out several trade ideas last couple of days. They're all pretty good, actually. So I think we can pat ourselves on the back on that, to be quite honest. Because it's all over the place, the market at the moment. Not sure what the direction is. To be honest, I looked through all the trades today. I'm bearish on the market. That's why we got a Nasdaq micro out. That's the micro. If you have enough money, you can do the normal one. Remember, the normal one's a contract size of 10. So it says the risk is, let's say, $70 a micro on the micro indices. It's 700 on the normal per 0.01. You must understand that. I hope you do. If you don't, please ask, because it's very important. We don't want guys with 2 or 3 grand going into the normal Nasdaq with those wide stops, because it's going to be too much for the 700 rand's too much. You need a 10 grand in your account with a risk like that, at least probably maybe 11, 12 grand, in fact. So just make sure you got the micro. If you don't have the micro, you can't load it onto your platform and onto your watch list the normal way. You could only load it by going to the portal and opening another live account and choosing the micro option for the Dow and the NAS. And remember, that's the only 2 you can do in that micro. You can't do anything else. So don't try and load anything else on. So that'll be a separate one. You can either transfer or fund it separately. It's up to you. Hope all that is clear. If not, again, please say so. I do it every day. It seems it's almost second muscle memory to me. I forget. Obviously, people starting might be a bit confusing. Ask me and I'll clarify. If I don't do it well, people like Pietro and that, Edwin might help you as well. Okay, because they know the story there. Okay, right. So we'll leave that. We'll go back to the micro. Oh, yeah, sorry. We got the ADP. Was that as a pending? Or yeah, it was. But it's 30 pips away. Some people might have chased it at market. I think that's a complete train smash. 30 pips is nothing on the NAS. Not like 30 pips is a big deal on the Forex. It's not a big deal on the NAS. So if you did chase it, I'm totally against it, but it was a pending for that particular price. Quite well spotted. And I just want to point out something Mike mentioned there. What he did there was he looked at the signal. And now you might think that's fairly obvious. Most people don't. They jump in, they don't look at the EP, and quite frankly, they don't even look at the risk, which is spelled out for them. A guy just wanted to go in, wonder why he couldn't go in. He's got about 2.5K in his account, and he was not on the mics, the normal one. He tried to put in 0.51. Well, clearly, that's impossible. I mean, to put in 0.51, well, that's $5 a pip movement. With a 400 pip stop, that's a $2,000 risk. Over 3,000 rand risk. You get the idea. So clearly, you've got to look at the volumes. You've got to understand these basics. If you can't, you cannot trade. And if you still can't get it, find something else, because you will not be able to trade. Don't drive without a speedometer. It's too dangerous. Okay. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was a pending order. When we sent it out, it hadn't reached there. So we thought, try and get a slightly better price. I put the NAS up. Beg your pardon. Beg your pardon. Yeah, Perso's chased it at a slightly lower price. I'm not totally against that. So if the guys are in it and liked it, fair enough. But it nearly got there actually. What is a 15-minute chart? Put it on. Nearly got there. Just a few pips short. But anyway, you can either wait and get there and leave the pending, or join it, or whatever. It's up to you. It's a 50 pip difference at the moment. It's jumping. Now, going back to jumping around. The reason being is a lot of indecision out there for the reason I gave already. Plus, on top of it, the automatic data processing, the ADP, is coming out at 2:15 today in the US. When I talk big ones, the US. If it's not, I'll mention the euro or the pound or Swiss franc or whatever. Otherwise, take this rate. When I'm talking about it, I'm talking about US. So the ADP is coming out 2:15. That's a precursor for the jobs report coming out on Friday. It will affect on the market, but don't use that as a giving you some idea what's going to happen on Friday. Not necessarily so. We've found out from experience on that. But the point is, 2:30 coming out today, ADP funding will have an effect. Tomorrow, the normal weekly jobless claims, and of course, the big boy on Friday, coming at 2:30. Again, I'll probably remind you again tomorrow, maybe Friday morning as well, on my VIP group that we're having a 2 to 3 o'clock session to do a straddle trade on it, those who wish to join. Those who haven't done it before, try and be there at 2 o'clock so I have time to explain the mechanics of the trade. If you know how to do the trade, you come a little bit later. It's not a train smash because you know what to do. But we can discuss that a little bit more later on. Just going through a couple of things now, first of all. So basically, I couldn't get a trade ID except for the NAS. I'm very bearish in the market. That's why it was sent out. But all the others either were in it or couldn't really see an entry point. So that might continue. So don't panic if I can't find a trade idea. We might come up with one in the trade room today and tomorrow. Who knows? It might be a bit slow going into for the fundies coming up the next 3 days, and a lot of indecision in the world markets and the big boy on Friday. Okay, just bear that in mind. As we've discussed before, fundies are playing a bigger important role on movements, as we've found out often to our profit or cost, depending whether it backs our position or not. It's totally outside our control and nothing to do with the technicals. And when it comes out, it could have any effect. We don't know until it occurs. Just bear that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to put the fundamentals up for you. You need to have it. I can see a couple of new names in here. What have I just done there? Okay, right. Just going to put it up for you. Please, hang on just a second. Okay, please keep that and keep an eye on it. Very important. I'm also going to do the dollar one. It won't take long. I know most guys have got it, but some guys might not. So I'm just going to do this as well. Once again, as I'm doing that, excuse the no video. Not you particularly want to look at me anyway, but I'm trying to save data until I get the fiber sorted out. The route is okay, but like everything else, it might be very fast. It's like a traffic jam. Your car might be able to do all sorts of things, but with too much cars there, it slows down. So if there's a lot of people on using the towers, it does slow it down a bit. So there we are. There are the 10. We want look at the yields on the 10-year note and the dollar index. Okay. Yeah, I can in a moment. And I'm going to put my name on here as well. Roger Trading Support. You can then WhatsApp me direct 061. Okay, so if you've got a funded account, not a demo account, and you got 2.5 grand or more, or $150 or thereabouts, say 2.5 grand anyway, in rand terms, I can upload to my VIP group. You'll get morning updates, other areas of interest are put onto the group, WhatsApp group that is, and the signals are posted first on there. As we find them, they're posted directly onto the WhatsApp group. So you want to join, there you are. Make sure you've got a funded account, and then you got my number. WhatsApp me, and please, I beg of you, don't say this is John from the trading room. Could you add me? I mean, and you say it's John Smith or whatever. You know what I mean? I need your details, preferably if you have got a moment. Nice to have your real account number as well. Okay, and then it saves me time. I can still find it, but it's a bit time consuming. But if you can't, whatever. But let me know. And yeah, if you've got 1,500 rand, you want a bit of assistance, no problem. And then as soon as you got more, let me know. I don't know by magic. You got to remind me. Okay, no problem, Sam. Good enough. This happens. Okay, so there we are. We got that sorted. Hope it's all clear. Now, good morning. Can you please explain the black and red line on the peeps? That's just a spread. That's just the spread between the buy and sell price. Okay. If you don't know what the spread is, you need to know it. That's the market maker's costs, not cost of brokerage. Beg your pardon, the other way around. Your cost. Yeah, that's how they make their money. You know, you buy on the buy and you sell on the sell. If you're going short, you sell on the sell and on the buy. So if you're going at this price on a buy, that price has got to come to this to break even. If you're selling, that's got to come down to that to break even. So that's just a spread. See it jumping around. It's got up to, if you're going short, you won't be in on the buy, you're on the short. So that figure there's got to get a 14.5 if you put a pending order and sell limit for that. These things you can learn in the classes, in the position calculators on every Tuesday. And that they go through that, and platform training on Monday. Don't try and trade if you don't know any of the basics, because it will come back and bite. You got to know volumes, you got to know how to work the platform, and go to a couple of classes and get a few of the whatchamacallit, indicators, etc. on there. So when you come to the trading room, you can start from the get-go. Okay, because this is not a training class, it's a trading room where the assumptions made, you've done the basics when you come in here. Okay, we'll go to the daily chart. What's happened now? There we are. As you can see, that's a 10-day moving average. The black one's 100, the blues are 50, and that's the 200. So 10, 50, 100, and 200. Use the colors if you like, or any colors you like, and make sure you save the charts. I use them extensively, and for technical aspect, and I find them makes life a lot easier in trading. And yeah, so it'll make it easier for you as well. Also, remember, the technicals are one part, fundamentals are another part. Fundamental interference ignores the technicals. Something comes out good for the dollar. If you're going short and the technicals were correct to go short the dollar, doesn't matter, it'll go up, and vice versa. So those are basics. Okay, so you got the hope that understands. I can't pronounce it, Exaba, so probably pronouncing it wrong. It's probably got a click sound. I do beg your pardon. I can't do it, but that's just a spread. Wouldn't worry about that too much. More of the point is the indicators, which I've mentioned with the moving averages. They act as filters and support resistance. And they work on all charts. Remember, it's 100 times 50 or 100 times a week or 100 times a month or 100 times an hour or whatever. It's 100 or 50 or 200 or 10 multiplied by the candle. Okay, hope that's all clear. We can move on. If not, let me know. Yeah, we're all accumulating. Well, accumulating is a nice word to say. It's indecision time. Normally get a big move, settles down, bit of profit taking, and then everyone sort of sits and waits for the next move. And normally we follow the smart money. What's called the smart money. Let's refer it, not always smart. Let's call it the big money. Okay. I mean, Joe might be not a very clever person, but he's got $10 million. He'll have more clout than genius Joe, who's got $50. Simple as that. So we'll say the big money, not necessarily smarter. I'm sure you all know people have got money, but not a lot of sense, and people haven't got much money and seem quite sensible. So yeah. So yeah, waiting for the big money for direction to break out of the sideways accumulation, indecision, call it whatever you like. But the concept behind it is that big move, indecision. And at the moment, it is going into 3 days coming up. Is it going to continue to be bearish, or maybe some good news comes out on the info coming out on the fundamentals? Okay, right. So if you've got the NAS, if you've got a pending order, don't forget. I know that says 1501. You're not in. You won't be in it, because that's got to get there. Sometimes you got your TP there, okay, and it bounces from there, and you wonder why you're still in, because your TP might have been on the sell, not on the buy. If you're selling short, that figure there has got to get there. So that's got to come down to that figure there. So if the sell came down there, but the buy didn't, or the bid and ask, we'll call it the sell and buy, easier. The sell gets there and you're short, you get out on the buy. So the buy's got to get there. You've got to take account the spread. Just remember that. Okay. Hope you understood all that. It's a bit to learn, guys. Panic not, you'll get there. All right. Okay, yeah, we had a few trade ideas out the last few days. Just going to check them here on the mailbox. Just give me a second. Put it up out the way here. EUR CAD was at 43.59. We'll start off with that one. EUR CAD. Just dancing around. There you are. Put an hourly chart. As you can see, it's dancing around. EUR CAD. 43.59, about back to break even. See, it just jumped up in the last hour. Before, it was actually in a profit. It's just jumping around. Yesterday, quite frankly, was all over the place. In fact, I'll be honest, I closed all my share trades, my CFD share trades, US share trades, because it's jumping around so much. They're all in a nice profit. I thought this is getting ridiculous now. So I closed them in a profit, but that's just what I did. Okay, but it's jumping around like a cat in a hot tin roof. NZD CAD, if you're in it, stick with it clearly. NZD CAD, just a second, where we find that we got in at a sell again, 80.94. See, jumping around is right down to 80.51. Some guys might have modified the stopped out in the profit. If you haven't, stick with it. It's in a bit of a profit at the moment. Gold, I'm not getting a bit worried about. As I mentioned yesterday, if you do see a profit, might be an idea to take it. Some guys mentioned if got to 1830, modify your stop to break even. If you did it, it might have been stopped out, but at least it doesn't matter. Then you're out the bloody thing. And it's at a break even because it is very iffy at the moment. Maybe we jump the gun a bit with the trading idea. You have to see some fundamental push to get to the TP. Anyway, because it did hit 1830. So if anyone took that. But if not, you got your stop in and keep fingers crossed. It's jumping around, don't know what it's doing. Okay, EUR CHF, same sort of story. All of them jumping around. Very, very, not our fault, not your fault. Don't worry about it. Well, worry about it, but it's not your fault, is what I'm saying. EUR CHF, 41, slight profit, not much. Again, jumping around. Look what it was yesterday on the hourly chart. Down there, jump back up again. Some guys might have modified and it stopped out in the profit. So I might just close it with jumping around. So be it. AUD CAD still doing pretty well. Some guys might have modified and been stopped out. Some might have just taken it. But AUD CAD was at 87.03. That's in a nice profit. Make sure you modified your stop into a profit. So whatever happens, you can't lose. The trade ideas are not bad. Pound dollar and the AD dollar hit the TP. So you don't have to worry about that. That's all out in a nice profit. CHF JPY, those who modified would take the profit. Those who left the stop loss in and didn't move it would have been hit on the Japanese government intervention yesterday when the dollar hit 150 yen per dollar. Okay, so that's covered. Go for it. Go for it.
Sorry. If you look at these trade signals that we've had this week, you notice that the NZD CHF, we actually we're sitting on two positions that are diverse. What do we need to do about that? Do we leave those two positions as they are? You just closed the mailbox there. They were there on the mailbox.
Close the big box. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
You just closed the mailbox. Where
the mailbox. Mailbox. Sorry,
the mailbox.
NZD CHF. When was that? It was a long time ago.
There's that other one on the 2nd of October. There's two. There's one that you just read on I think it was yesterday. And then
no, we haven't had an NZD CHF.
Yeah, there's two things that are sitting there. Or on the 2nd of October. That's the first one.
CAD.
And then yesterday.
That's NZD CAD. That's not the NZD CHF.
Oh, no, it is NZD CAD, NZD CAD.
Yeah, you said CHF. Okay.
Sir.
All right. Okay, fair enough then.
So there's two there on the market that we've got on our positions. So do we just chill like that with them, or there's still opportunities to make adjustments? Because these are diverse.
Yeah. Okay. I'm getting it now. Yeah. Okay. NZD CAD. What price did you get in at? What price did you enter at? You're asking about it, so you must have it at hand there, surely. No, it's gone. Okay. Well, if you go, right, if you're getting worried and jumping around, 94 was a signal. It's only about 15 pips away. It's a bit to bring it down to even Stevens now. It's a bit too tight, but you can reduce it a bit if you like. Maybe reduce the stop loss from 81.55 maybe to 81.10. There you are. At least you reduce your risk.
Yeah, they're actually both in the money, but yeah. That it's just that
Sorry, I know they're in the money. That's obvious. What I'm saying is you're asking about modifying. And modifying, if you put it to entry, it's too close. It's only 15 pips away. So you can reduce risk by modifying, but not to entry. It's too close. So I'm suggesting you get to 0.81, make it 80, make it 81. Yeah, make it 81.15. There you are. Make it 81.15. It won't, because it's jumping around like a cat on a tin roof. So make it 81.15 as your stop loss. You'll still lose, but you reduce the risk. Can't make any clearer than that. Have you got that?
Okay, yeah. I get you.
Good.
Thanks.
Okay, fine. Good stuff. No problem. Thanks for asking. That's what we need people to do. GBNZD is a buy. I know what my opinion is. What do you think, Fani? I'm not restricted to Fani. Anybody who's traded before. Chantel, people who traded before. Anthony, Mike McLean. Anyway, what do you think of that as a buy?
I'm a bit concerned. It's clearly in the sell zone, if you look at it. And I would rather buy or sell the pullback, although there's a technical damage, but it's still in the neutral zone down towards the selling area. That's what I would do.
Okay, that's fine. Before I open my big mouth, any offers on that? There's a good chance we can learn stuff here. I picked on a couple of games that have traded before, to be fair. Person who's completely starting, it might be a bit unfair to ask them. So Mike's done it before. Anthony Willem Venter, in the center of Mr. Venter, as they say. Those guys trade before. Go for it. What do you think?
Roger, I don't think I'm going to give an opinion. I did the Dow Jones last week and I did the pound US dollar, both went against. So, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't actually buy it at this stage.
Okay.
I think it's in the range.
Fair comment. I'll just add to one thing on that. What happened last? Sorry. One second before saying, just want to add to that quickly. What happened last week is actually irrelevant. What happened to the NAS last week, whether you won or lost? That was then. This is a new hole. You bird or bogey the last hole. It's a new hole. But otherwise, I take your point entirely, Mike. Sorry, you were saying somebody else was going to say something on that.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the three timelines: the weekly, the daily, and the 1 hour. If you look at the 1 hour, it looks like it's definitely on the upside. It's promising to be a buy, and then the 4 hours as well. It has just bounced off and is heading upwards. So all the moving average are above the current price, as well as when you look at the weekly one. Most of it is definitely looking like it's a buy. If I look at it from this, using the moving averages and the price sections.
Thanks for that gift. Anybody? Thanks for that. Sorry to interrupt. I thought you'd finished there. Sorry, beg your pardon. Thanks for that gift. Anybody else got an opinion on this? Impo, thanks very much. Anybody else got an opinion, a buy or a sell or whatever, or nothing at all, whatever? Because this is where we learn stuff. Thanks for the trade idea, Pietro. This is where we need the forum where people get more knowledgeable and put it together. If we get about 10 people say, out of 10 people interact and 8 of them say buy and 2 say not at all, it might give us a good trade idea. Anybody else see that as a buy? We're talking about market, not pending, at market, a buy or a sell, or nothing at all, basically, of course. Anybody else want to add a bit to it? You see, it doesn't take much to actually unmute. Gift has a good for confidence as well if you can unmute and speak about it. If I don't understand, that's my fault, not yours. And maybe someone else will clarify. Nobody else? Okay. I'm totally with Mike on this one. I wouldn't touch this. A 10-foot disinfected barge pole. Pound is very iffy at best at times. NZD is not that strong either. It's on the 1 hour chart. That's only for confirmation. Doesn't tell me anything from Scar's strategy. It's too short a term. The 4 hours neutral. The movement in any direction is not really happening. As it tried to pop up, it came down. It tried to go down. It went up again. So the 4 hour is just wavering sideways. The daily, it's not really broken above the 10-day on the a moving average without the sellers coming in. There's a bit of support there if you're going short, a bit of resistance if you want to buy it right at that point there. If you can look at the red line right across. Bottom line is there's no clear indication whatsoever. To me, at the moment, that's the flick of the coin. So I would definitely leave this alone. That's my take. But of course, if you disagree and want to buy, I'll put an hour up. If you want to sell, I'll put an hour up with pleasure. I'm just stating what I think. Yeah, you went at first, Solomon. You'll get there. But remember, again, Solomon, this is a trading room. If you come in, you've never done a course or anything, of course you're going to find it confusing. But that's where you need to do a couple of classes at Stock Market College, etc., just to get the basics understood. This is the practical area. There, the teacher the theory. This is the practical, putting it together. But yeah, if you ask my not just opinion, it's a strong opinion. That's a flip of a coin. If you buy it, it shoots up. Well, you got lucky. If it shoots down, you got unlucky. That's not good enough. You know what I mean? Yeah, I definitely LIA on this one. For me, my opinion. It's not enough. I'm not confident to do either on that. I could easily come back off again, but that's not. Again, the problem is if it comes off again, I'm not that much faith in the New Zealand dollar either at the moment, to be honest. The only one I've got much faith on the moment is actually, funny enough, the US dollar. Even the Swiss franc's given me some jip lately. A Canadian to a certain extent, but still, I wouldn't be selling the Swiss franc. I'm staying with that. But the only one that seems to be maintaining strength is the dollar at the moment. But that being as it may, yeah. Anybody want to do this trade as a buy or a sell? I'll put the risk reward up with pleasure if you want to do it. That's just my opinion I've stated. Chantel, you say agree. I'm not sure you agree with. You agree with a buy or a sell or leave it alone, or with me or whoever, or Farnley or Pietro, whatever. You agree. I'm not sure you agree with Chantel. Just make that a bit clearer. But anyway, I'll put it up anyway. Like I said, remember, it's nobody 100% knows, and everyone will get it wrong and right sometimes. Okay. That's why I try to push through. There's no 100% in the markets. Otherwise, you don't have a market. It is informative, yeah. But Chantel, informed in what way? You think you agree with me about leaving alone, or you agree with Pietro buy, or what? I just need a clarification on that, if you would. If you just type that out, because agree with what, basically? I agree with you, I have to pronounce it wrongly. Exaba. I'm sorry if it is. Mr. X. Not Mr. T, but Mr. X. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. Agree with you when you said you were. Okay, fine. I got you now. Thanks, Chantel. Just some clarification. Okay. All right. Yeah. Leave it alone because according to my analysis of technical, the price is in the middle of nowhere. I totally hear you big time. I'm sorry, Pietro. Yeah, if you want to do it, you can, but you might get lucky. But unfortunately, I don't see any indication other than luck coming into at the moment. Okay, thanks. Now, I hope you understood why I'm doing this, to try and get everyone to think and interact and hopefully learn something from it. I hope it created value doing that. That's the general idea. I'm not here to show off how much I know or don't know. It's to help everybody to try and get some understanding where, unfortunately, boring old patience needs to come into it. Whereas there's nothing out there about 100. You might have 100 instruments in your watch list. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. And it happens. Cluck Club. Moderi. I forgot about that one. Yeah. Join me in the Cluck Club. CCC. Yeah. Thank you.
Roger,
bring a bit of humor into it. Go for it. Go for it. Sir.
Did you consider the relative performance of the NSD vis-a-vis the pound? Because NZD was the weakest currency as per the relative
Yeah.
performance vis-a-vis the USD.
Yeah.
So it's way at the bottom, and GBP is almost on top. It's now number 3.
Yeah.
And NZD is sitting at there. I think there might be some opportunities to look at if we take another look in terms of that aspect.
Okay, without going into more detail, there are opportunities to sell the rally. Just because it's low down, I wouldn't be buying it. The dollar's come off in the last hour, or since 10 o'clock or whatever. It's come off, but that to me at the moment is noise. That's just noise. Short-term movements is noise. It come off a bit because it's gone up so quick. I think it'll probably recapture 107 again. Just dropped a little bit below and then bounce up. Remember, it's also on top of it a tradable instrument. We don't have it, but it's a tradable instrument internationally. And some people buy and sell it by, and that'll give it movement. People buy and sell something, it gives it movement. But that to me is just people buying and selling it for noise. I'm not saying that I see any direction to particular weakness. That could change with the fundamentals coming out the next couple of days or so. But at the moment, don't bet against the dollar. So don't be buying the NZD and selling the dollar. Rather be on the short side. And as you can see at the moment, the buyers are the profit takers, or the indecision mongers are defending that line there. And I'm saying decision mongers on purpose because I think it's indecision and directionless. So if you see a bit of movement up, and we have a massive funding coming up, which we do, unfortunately, sell the rally is the way forward. That's my, quite frankly, strong opinion. Do not be selling the dollar. We need to be buying. You need to be on the long side of the dollar at the moment. Things could change over the next 2-3 days on the fundamental data releases. Don't forget that, guys. Very important. Okay. Sorry, Edwin. Go on.
The other interesting aspect is that the AUD, which is normally in tandem with the NZD, is actually the strongest currency vis-a-vis the dollar. And NZD is the lowest.
No. The AUD is the weaker. I put the two against each other. Look at the Aussie against the New Zealand. Clearly, the Aussie is the weaker of the two. That's why I took the AUD USD as a trade, not the NZD. Technically and fundamentally, that's why I chose that one and not this one. But I didn't choose both. I chose this one for that reason, and it turned out in hindsight worked out to a T. Hit the TP. What a pleasure. No, it's the other way around. Okay, but go back AUD USD. Do you want to chase it now? Don't. Simple as that. No, I don't. 3 big days of fundies. Big one coming out on Friday. Very, very oversold the Aussie against the dollar. Dollar a bit sideways, accumulating. Probably just think from the world movements now. That probably with these big ones coming out, there's going to be just short-term in and out trading, maybe a bit of high-speed trading. In other words, she's going to be doing as Anna Marie when she comes back. She's moved down to Cape Town and doing stuff, but she will be coming back soon, hopefully. And she came up with the terminology crabbing. I like that. I like our trade room jargon. Makes us exclusive because nobody else knows what we're talking about. Makes us feel like an exclusive club, if you like. LIA and Club and Trading Marines. Well, this is crabbing. And I suggest enjoy your profit. Don't get cute with it at the moment, but don't be buying it. If it bounces up, all well and good, use an opportunity. If it gets to a decent support level, to sell it back down again. But keep an eye on those fundamentals at the moment because we've got some big ones coming out. That's the best I can offer on that one. Okay, I just want to go back to Edwin here. For 8 days, the pair is struggling with resistance and uptrends. Yeah, the reason being, leave it alone, quite agree with Edwin. The reason being is this, the big boys, the big money is I prefer that to smart money. It's the big money is indecisive. The big money is indecisive. You're not getting direction. We get direction from big money putting in big positions to push that direction. We want to clamber on board. No disrespect to us guys, not you guys, us guys. We're too small to move the market. So we have to follow those who do. Okay. And that's the issue at the moment. Okay, so we can actually learn a bit, even we get quite boring times when we can't find a trade, we can use it as value to get an overall understanding of what's going on behind the price action. It's not just about the price action, where does it come from, and get an eye of the concept behind it. Make things a bit clearer going forward. Well, that's the idea anyway. I hope it does. And yes, one thing I will repeat again, there are times, yes, you can blame yourself. It's your fault. But don't forget, there are times it is not your fault. And okay, what am I doing wrong? It's not what you're doing wrong. It's the bloody market. It's indecisive. And when it gets indecisive, it's going around in ever decreasing circles up and down, you know, disappears up his own you know what. And there are times like that. Probably best just to be very circumspect. We need direction. Okay, dollar coming off a bit. How long that's going to last, who knows? I think that's just profit taking, pull back. Don't be short the dollar. I haven't seen any change of trend. It's just profit taking noise at the moment. Oh my goodness! After all I've said there, Mpo, why would you suddenly say that? Well, you might think I'm wrong. Okay, so that's fair enough. Okay, so you want to buy that and sell the dollar? Is that what you're saying? Well, I've said my piece. I hope everyone understood me. Does anyone disagree with me? Want to go for a buy on this or the Mpo? Because that same clearly disagrees everything I've said, which is fair enough. I'm no problem with that. My ego sell long ago on that. But yeah. Yeah, if you buy that, you're selling the dollar against an extremely maverick currency, number one, and number two, extreme economic problems. And the reason I said before is their costs are gone up with all the NHS freebies, the police freebies, the this freebie, the dole freebies, you name it. Not police are freebie, but it's not making money, it costs money, you know what I'm saying? The income is not so great, but all the people making use of the National Health Service, all of them free of charge and whatever, they got problems there. So no, I'll be selling the rally. I would not be buying this. No. It could get a rally. It could get a bounce, profit-taking bounce. It could well happen, but I don't know the extent of that bounce, Mpo and company. So I'd rather see maybe a technical retracement, maybe using a fib. If it comes to that, then sell it down again. I'm saying, my opinion, do not be on the short side of the dollar. The only time I might make a slight change in that, maybe against the Canadian or the Swiss franc, depending on the situation. But even then, I think rather leave those alone and use the dollar against the weaker currencies. Gives you more of a odds on in your favor. Okay, that's fine. I want you to ask. I want you to ask. So we learn. If you don't ask, you don't learn. Absolutely. As long as you get the concept behind it. Okay. All right. Let's see what the NAS is doing. Bouncing around, no doubt about it, almost certainly. Bit quiet at the moment. I can't tell you on that chart. Go to 15 minutes. Yeah, bouncing around a bit, go up and down. You've got a very wide stop on this one, so you've got a lot of room to play with. Let the thing run. Try not to stare. Like you can't see mine at the moment. Try not to stare it all the time. It will play with your head. Oh, for sure, Edwin. For bloody sure. You can make it around 8.7. I think that's where mine is. Actually, just check. Where's mine? Yeah, mine's at 8.7. Make it 8.7. So I'm not going to lose in that trade. I'm letting it run. Okay, make it around 8.7. Okay. If you put it 680, it's a bit tight. Hopefully that 10 days is going to hold, as you can see at the moment. If you want to put 880, you can, but don't cry if you're stopped out and it goes hits TP. But so that's why I give you a room to move. I put mine. We can see I put mine at 8.7. Good man. Thanks, Edwin. Okay, good stuff. Right. Just bear in mind, as I've got a moment to explain, if you've never traded before, you've never been to any classes. Yesterday, you never heard of the stock market. Now you have. That's not enough. The trading might be a bit confusing. You need to get those basics. Maybe start off with do a week's classes. Platform trading Monday, position Tuesday, and the other two on Forex and whatever they do on Wednesday, Thursday. You got some basics there. You know what a lot size is. You got the basics. Then join the trading room. Coming without that, it's going to get your head spinning. And if you say, I don't want to buy a course, it's cost too much, I just rather trade, well, bid upon your head. What does the NAS do now? What it does, I hope it's going to come off, but I don't think that's quite what you mean. The NAS is a benchmark or an index of 100 different shares, not Forex shares, not commodity shares. Predominantly tech shares, technical shares, technology shares, but not completely. Okay. Doesn't have any finances in there. Like wouldn't have any not ABSA, sorry. What banks they have over there? JP Morgan's in there. but they do have some other stuff in there. But overwhelmingly, it's technology companies make up the index of the NAS. It's 100 because that's why it's called 100 shares. Dow Jones or the US 30, same bloody thing. Well, not quite. One future, one spot. We're not just confuse you guys anymore. Just call it the Dow. That's 30 of the biggest companies, and the S&P 500 is of the biggest 500 companies. And you often get big companies in all three of them. Okay. Hope that makes sense. And what's it doing now? Jumping around. Just for a change, I don't think. Hope that's what you were asking. If it isn't, maybe you can rephrase it and we'll try and get your point. Was I on point there, or did I miss your point? Because I do have a bad habit of doing that. Sorry, guys. Oh, the signal. Yeah, it's a sell at 14.5. If you want to take it. I think it's around about there now. Yeah, it's gone up a little bit. If you like it, you can take it at a better price. If you're in, hold on. It's a wide stop. If you don't like it, well, obviously don't take it. No, it's not. It's a sell, but not now. I think people are catching on here. The guy was asking about where to Edwin's asking about where to modify to on a trade he's in a nice profit. Not saying jump in now. No, that ship sailed. Very much understand the terminology. And if you don't understand, do exactly what we did there. Ask. If you don't ask, don't understand, we could get cross purposes. What we call it, the stompy. Are we good on that? So yeah, if you like the Zaba, if you like the sell the NAS, you agree, sell at market. If you don't like it, don't do it. If you're in it, leave it alone. If you got your stop, let it run. And ADCAD, modify if you're in, give it a bit of a bit of a space between the market and modification price, modify price, but don't, I can if you like, but I suggest you don't join now. Is it a day or? No, how long you can be in the market depends on the market. It can be, if it's slow in a long time, it's very quick in a short time. I can't tell what the market timing is. I've seen guys like natural gas being for 6 weeks. Some guys might be in a week more. Some guys might be in a couple of hours. The funding comes out and you got, by mistake, you got in before a funding. You were lucky, hit the TP or stop loss immediately. Depends. URAUD. Christina looks at a sell. That was a bit quick. Maybe that's a bit of coincidence. I don't think you typed out that quick. Christina, Edwin, I put them together there. Looks like a sell. Let's have a look. You might have some here. URAUD. Now, my first problem before I even look at the chart is the EUR ain't that strong. The guy speak later on today. I can't remember what time. Just check my calendar. Give me a moment. Let's have a look. Christian Lagarde is speaking at 6 o'clock tonight. Strange. Okay, after the markets are closed. I get it. Okay, she's speaking tonight at 6. She's the president of the European Central Bank. She's a sort of Euro's Jerome Powell, who's the chairman of the Fed, same principle. Now, before I even look at the chart, my way EUR AUD at the moment is the AUD, as we all know, is fairly weak. But the euro isn't exactly Goliath either. Well, I mean, mine's a bad example. We'll have to Goliath, eh? It's not exactly Mike Tyson either. So they're a bit weak, both of them. That's my problem. Now, let's look at this candle here. It's a 10-hour-old candle, okay? Because on the daily, it's only at midnight or whatever. What direction is that telling you? Does that tell you a short? Look at it's in the neutral zone. It's in halfway house. It tried to break up. Sellers came in, tried to break down. Buyers came in. I don't see a trade there. Sorry about that. You might be right on the downside, but then you're buying the AUD, which is not exactly the toughest thing going at the moment. I don't see a trade there personally, but I could be wrong. Let's hear opinions. Anyone else done some analysis? Edwin's traded before. He might be quite right. Anyone? Christina quite likes it. She might be quite right. Anybody else like the look of this one as a sell? As long as you've got an idea, not because it seems like a fun idea, but anyone look at a sell? You might convince me. You might come up with some bloody good reasons. Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you very much. But I put this. I don't see a trade like Ntombi. Anyone see a trade here? Gertrude, to leave it alone. Anyone see a sell or buy if you want? This is where we try and discuss in the trading room. so we can learn. You know what I mean? I have my opinion, but some guy might say, oh, hang on, what about that one? And then I end up there, right? And I'm wrong. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going nowhere. On time frame 4 hour. That's shorter term. That's fair enough. I often use the 4 hour. In between the 200 and the 50 neutral, in between the 100 neutral. Don't see a lot happening there either. It's a possible sell, if anything, yeah. But I agree with that, Mike. Possible sell technically, but then I'm buying the AUD, and I'm a bit uncomfortable with the AUD. And look at the hourly one. Very indecisive. I'm not sure I want to be buying the AUD. I'm not too sure I want to be buying the euro or the NZD company at the moment. And I'm very nervous of the Japanese yen after that intervention. So I'd look to buy the Swissy, the dollar, US, and the Canadian dollar. The others, I'd rather look, depends, you know what I mean? And I don't think putting those two together at the moment is going to. And the other thing is bothering me is a lack of momentum. When a person gets into trade, they want it to come to the party pretty quick, naturally. And we're talking about 50 pips on a 4 hour chart over the last half, done that, you know what I mean? It's just sailing around, you know? If anyone does any sailing, it's a moment a bit becalmed. Not much wind around to give it movement. Well, there's another problem with that, Impo. Give it some time. Sounds like a great idea when you got decent balance. A lot of guys don't have a large balance. So if they're tying something up for, let's say, a week or two, then they might not have enough free margin to look at other possible trades, which might be a lot better because they're stuck in this one. All right, that problem doesn't occur if you've got a decent balance, because then you can go and get NGAS, you like the long, which I quite like, and let it ride for a month or two. Not a problem. You trade because enough balance to trade elsewhere. But if you're limited in your balance and limited in free margin, you don't tie it up for 3 or 4 weeks going nowhere. It means you can't trade anything else because you never have the money in your account. Another problem with underfunded accounts. That's going to take into account as well. So yeah, look at that movement compared to this green candle and these green candles. That's moving, my friend. This ain't. Yeah. Well, just it's drifting, it's crabbing. I won't be buying or selling this. No, that's just not enough meat on the bones. The car's nicely switched on, but it's not going anywhere. No one's letting the clutch. Do you understand them, Poe? Good stuff. Because as I say, we always got to bear in mind, if you haven't got a high balance, you've got to be pretty choosy which trades you go into. You can't overexpose, and most of the trades are overexposing even the minimum size lot without going in too big. And number two, if you can, you need a fast one, because otherwise, if you're stuck with it, you can't trade. Remember, you've got to have free margin. The only way to achieve it, obviously, put more money in. The problem is you don't have the extra money to put in. We have a problem, Houston. And that's been an issue. I've mentioned it many times. The issue at the moment in South Africa is the salaries that haven't gone up anything like inflation. And then people living from month to month. They're having good incomes, but it's all going out on debit orders, if you like. So the disposable income at the end of the month is limiting. And that's often an issue. Okay, hope that's clear. So look and see if there's any action, and make sure when you go in, you've got enough free margin. It's absolutely essential. Please don't get margin called. If you don't have free margin account, your trade or your biggest trade, if you've got more than one, will be closed. Remember, you're on a derivative. You're not in paying cash. You're putting a deposit down. The deposit is the lender's, which you're borrowing money to go into that, is the lender's collateral. If you don't have any collateral for the lender, it'll withdraw the loan and margin call you. And don't forget your exposure. If you're 100-to-1 leverage, you're exposed 100 times the amount of money or deposit or margin you put on. So it doesn't take much movement to be a big movement to you. The way to overcome that fear is not to increase your leverage. No, it's to work out what you're prepared to risk per trade, use the position calculator, and go and get your volumes accordingly. If you want to risk 500 Rand a trade, and its the risk is, let's say, 80 Rand per micro, doesn't matter the instrument, you divide 80 into 500, and that gives you the figure. Or 8 sevens are 56, 8 6 are 48. So you'd rather go for 6 than 7, because if you go for 7, you're overexposed. Basic arithmetic. If that can't be sorted, you won't be able to do the derivatives market, because believe me, that's 10-year-old arithmetic, that. And if you find that too much for you, you're going to battle to understand the full scope of this fairly complex market. I'm just being straightforward with you. I don't want you to try and sort of, if you battle past with a trick, going on a surgeon's course might be an issue. You know what I'm saying? You've got to understand those basics. Okay. That's why we do it for you. Show what I mean. Somebody called up today and sent me a screenshot on the NAS, on the normal, not even the micro one. I think it's got 2.5, 3 grand in the account. I can't remember. And had 0.51. Well, let's take the NAS. First of all, it does say micro, but let's assume we didn't know that. So we'll ignore that. Now, if you go for 51, that means it's 51 times that. What's 51 times that figure there? 81. Call it 50 times that. 50 times that is 4,000 rand. How can you possibly do that? And it tells you that there. That's why sometimes people get a bit frustrated. What does that say? 80 rand a micro. Why would you go for 50 micro to 3 grand account? Clearly. Okay, good enough. How is our NAS doing? Anything happening there? Not a lot. Even the NAS is slow. When the NAS is slow, believe me, we've got a Denzer Dordell market. The NAS ain't moving. Trust me, I don't see much movement elsewhere. That's the most volatile of the lot. That's the biggest mover going. So if your bloody Formula One is doing about 20 Ks, can you imagine your Beetle's probably doing about 5 Ks? Okay, all good with that. Hope we're all learning stuff. Hope we're getting the idea. It's important to learn concepts, what we're talking about here, because these will stand you in good stead. Okay, any questions, guys? That's what I like to see, some smiling emojis. Yeah. Sometimes it's difficult to keep a sense of humor, but I think it's a must. Pack it first when you go out. Or you put your toothpaste in there. Pack your sense of humor first. Good. Right. Okay, guys. Anyone to look at? Any trades you want to discuss? Any strategy you want to discuss? Anything knowledge-wise you want to discuss? Oh, it's quite simple. I don't know if you've been to classes. All you do is you go to the insert, go to indicators, see that there, and then go to trend, and then go to moving average. And then you put them in there. Make sure it's a simple, not the exponential. Put the moving there, put the color, make it, and okay it. Okay. Insert, indicators, trend, moving average, and put the indicators in there. Save it. Once you've saved all 4, if you like them, then you right click on your screen, go to, where is it? Yeah, templates, and then click on save the template, wait a moment or two, and then put your name in there and click on the save button. So if you've saved, you lose your charts, you go to templates, and there they are there. All make sense? But platform training and all the other stuff should be teaching you that anyway in the classes. That's what they're supposed to be doing. Got it. Good. Because I know for a fact some of the account managers send them straight to the training room when they haven't done any basics. Then it will be a bit difficult. Okay. Okay, just have a quick look, see how our trades are going in the meantime, until you come up with something else. Watch that gold like a hawk. I hope we're going to get out of jail. I'm getting a bit worried about it. Get a bit of profit. I think play safe and play safe and grab it. Well, okay, we've got a couple there. GBP CAD. What's that doing? Now the wrong bloody sign. Jumping up and down and up and down, up and down. That's slightly in the loss. It wasn't a profit before. They're all jumping around the joint. So let them run. You got your stop loss in. Hopefully you learned to get your volumes right. Let the thing run and hope modify your stop loss when you can. Reduce risk to hopefully get into profit or at least break even. Don't forget, very important. Well, it's no point come to trading if you don't operate the platform. What's the point? It's like learning, taking less to buy a car. Sorry, less to drive a car when you can't afford or to buy a car, or you haven't got a car and you don't want to drive. What's the point? I mean, there's no point discussing trades if you can't place them. So clearly that's number one. That's an interesting question. Okay, Pietro, understand you've got stuff to do. Trading stop loss. Let's have a look now. Let's have a look. Pick on one. Let's see now. Let's find a trade. We'll use this one here, okay? You see on the left-hand corner there is that little red little icon there. What you do is you right-click on it, and the drop-down box comes up. You see, obviously, trading stop. Then you go across and you put in custom. Remember, these are in points, not pips. 10.1 pip. The point is the last decimal place, ignore it. So you want to put a 50 pip stop, 50 pip trading stop, you got to put in 500. I wouldn't be chasing now, but I'll look at it, Reno. Okay, have you got that? And then okay, once you put your trading stop in. Okay. Got that? If you haven't, I'll do it again, no problem. In the meantime, AUD USD. That suits you, me, eh? I'll be honest, Reno. How long have you been doing it for? That's pretty quick. Not bad, eh? For a beginner. Not so bad, actually. So what's the dollar doing? See, always good to look at the charts and jump the gun a bit there. It's not such a daft idea. Let's see if there's any meat on the bones. Don't want to get too cute at the moment. 30 pips. See, my worry is this. Okay, got it now. My worry is this. You're going to take it. That ain't going to cut it. So you're going to take this one here to make it worthwhile. And we were there in the 20th, 1 year ago. 1 year ago with that level there. Do you understand what I mean by that, Reno? And why I'm a bit hesitant to go for it? Especially after hit the TP. Don't want to put it all back again. But that's the reason why I wouldn't go for it. You're setting a TP that was last there a year ago. And now we go to a shorter term chart. Not a lot happening. And if you want to trade that range, you have no problem with that as long as you cover your costs, which are 5 pips, quite a lot, actually, to be honest. To really say that. Hey? Yeah, you're looking really about a 30 pip. Is it worth it? Is there enough profit potential? Or as I say, meat on the bones? But otherwise, not a bad idea, Rainer. Well spotted. I can't do it for that reason, but still, it's nice, well spotted. Remember, you hadn't been doing this that long, so it shows it can be learned if you join the trading room and pick up stuff. That's good news for beginners. The other thing, oh my God, 5 years later, no, it doesn't take that long to get the basics. You got it. Okay, Gertrude, fantastic. Thanks for the question. Hope everyone else learned from that. Put a trading stop in, right-click on the item, right to left of your trades, of your open position you want to put it in. Go to custom, put in 10 times the pips. In other words, 50 pips is 500, 40 pips is 400, etc. And there you got it. As Finally mentioned a while back, he often does it before he goes to sleep, a trading stop. But awake, often you can just modify it yourself. Even if you're working, it doesn't take long. You'd use your phone to modify it quick. Pretend you need to go to the loo. Okay, we can discuss stuff here with pleasure because it's very quiet on the trading front, and expect the same tomorrow or the next day. Just check my WhatsApp. Ernest will do. I'll do that after 11 o'clock. I just saw your WhatsApp there, Ernest. Ernest Linder, that is. Will do. Yeah, so we can try and use the next 20, 25 minutes usefully if you can interact and ask me stuff. like the other guys have. We can do some clarity, maybe get some value if you like, because let's say stick with the trades you got. I wouldn't get cute on new ones. I'd still like the NAS. Even the oil is very iffy at the moment. I think leave that alone as well. I'm sorry to say the fundies coming up next few days are causing us a bit of jip. I said a reminder when to take a trade. You can put a pending order in, or you can put an alarm on your phone if you like. You can do alerts. I don't do them. I've never used them, so I'm to be quite. When I don't know, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not the most tech savvy guy the world's ever seen. There are ways to put alerts on there. What I suggest you go to trader support when Clinton's on there, like now, because I'll be on about 12 o'clock. Then I'll take a break from the live chat at 1 till 2 or whatever. But he's the one to do it, and he'll obviously help you in platform training. He's very jacked on the tech side, very jacked. Sold me out on more than one occasion. I can tell you right now. And if you're still not sure, go and find a youngster. If you've got any youngsters run, not 2-year-olds, a youngster running around the house, go and ask them. They're born to this stuff. We've already got one, actually. NZD CAD, as you can see. But I'll put it up as the one. We've all got one here as a sell. Taking me to sell, yeah. NZD CAD came out yesterday, yeah, at 8094. What's it at the moment? It's 20 pips in profit. So, yeah, clearly I like the sell because I sent the bloody trade idea out. But will I be joining it now? I'm not totally against it, but I prefer to get a better price. But otherwise, yeah, absolutely. I agree with the sell. I completely agree. No problem there. See if you get a bit of a better price. It's jumping around a bit. Let's look at a shorter term. That's an hour chart. There we are. This is the daily, beg your pardon. Yeah, it's got a bit of problems here trying to break through here. That's my issue. It's battling to break through that. So, and it's so close to it, and it shows in the history of the buyers coming defending it and the 10-day moving average. I think probably cool it now. I'm not against it if it gets back to 90 odd or better or higher, then sell it, yeah. But I think probably be a bit patient on it for the moment. Hope that answers your question, Tumile. E2. Are you good with that answer? Makes sense? Noted. Okay, thanks for the question, by the way. Great. Okay. Okay, anyone disagree with that? Anyone think we should chase it now if you're not in it? But I think it's fairly clear that's causing problems. Weekly, didn't tell you much. A little bit on the 10 weekly, yeah. Yeah, even on the 4 hours. It's only a few pips away and seems to be defended at the moment. But the good news, if you're in it, that's why I'm sticking with it. It's only 11 pips away, you see. If you're sticking with it, every time it pops up, the sellers are coming in. So I think we could still expect a breakthrough, hopefully at some stage, but not chasing it now. Ah, yes, we can indeed, Gertrude. I hope we're going to get rescued on that. Just got to get this guy out of the way. Yeah, it's giving me jip. If you can get a bit of a profit out of it, I think, especially the big fundies coming out, which will affect gold, probably get it, even if break even, rather get out. It is drifting, and the dollar has continued. It's come off a bit, but it's no sustained breakdown. The dollar's pretty strong, which is not helping this trade at all. I'm going to be horribly honest with you. I think it may be a bit quick on the trigger to get this one out. I thought we could get a bounce in those low levels, but clearly it's not happening. So leave it alone if you're not in. If you are in, get a bit of profit. I suggest you take it and sit in the sidelines. Okay. Agree with me, Gertrude, or not? What do you think? We won't be able to join at 12 because we don't have one at 12. It's only 9:30 to 11. Okay. Okay, Anthony. Yeah. Okay, great stuff. Thanks for having you there. You agree, Gertrude. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, Anthony. Hopefully catch you tomorrow. Good stuff. No, you can join me at 12, but I won't be here. 9:30 to 11, Monday to Friday. So you'll feel a bit solitary then. Just check. I think you've got the WhatsApp. That's your name came. I think you got my WhatsApp. If you're not, then you can send me. You've got my number. I'll put it down again just in case. You can WhatsApp me on that. And I'll give you all the details you necessary. Don't forget, here's my number. You can WhatsApp me on that number. Use the WhatsApp on it. Remember, if you got 2.5 grand or more and you're not on my group, let me know. And please put your full details in so I know who's calling, you know. Hello, it's me. Who's me? I can find out, but it takes a bit of time. Just helps me, if you don't mind. Okay. Okay, so Xaba, if you haven't got my details, there you are. And anybody else, there you are. But remember, not in the demo. And somebody asked, where's the live chat? I think you all know where the live chat is. You go onto the website or the portal, it's there. Okay, sorry about that. So I have my video off. I've got a router. I've got fiber problems. They're trying to fix up for me. And so it comes back, we'll be stable again. So I moved the router, put it outside, get a better signal, and sometimes it kicked out. Been pretty lucky so far, just kicked up back on again. So it's not your fault. Get kicked out. Simple as that. It's the damn router. Okay. Very well, guys. Lost a few people. Luckily, it's near the end of the trading room anyway for the day. And we cover most stuff anyway, so at least the time is not too bad. But it's totally out of my hands. If I haven't fixed it up in the next 2 or 3 days or so, going to next week, I'll have to go and make a plan to change supplier or whatever, internet provider rather. Okay, but it hasn't given me problems for a while now, so I don't know why they're not getting it sorted. But anyway, they're on it, that's all I can say. It's like when you get a glitch with the MT5. How long will it take? Don't know. Tech guys have to be on it, and as long as it takes, basically. Okay, anyway, but it's not doing too bad in the meantime. But now I'm chewing my router gigs up, I tell you. Yeah, not much else to add actually as you speak. A few people unfortunately left as a result of it. I do beg your pardon. Those are still here. Thanks for your patience. I think in case you have any more problems, I just want to maybe you can wrap it up. So a few minutes to go anyway. Any other questions in the meantime? And before I go into that, thanks very much for supporting me in the trading room, by the way. I hope you are learning. And we're all going to have glitches. To stick me to it's like getting married, for better or for worse. Stick with me, but you don't have to marry me, but for better or for worse, but stick with us. We do our best anyway. But anything else you want clarification on or anything? I don't think any trades out. Don't expect what fireworks the next couple of days. Just remember that. If we find, we find. Okay. But be careful of the goal, like I mentioned. If we can get it above the entry, might be an idea. Want to see a bit of blue on it, grab it. Don't get too cute with the damn thing. It's very, very iffy out there at the moment. Anything else to add before we call it a day? Christina, Daneo, newer guys there. Hope you did find some useful stuff coming in. Marzi, most of them are fairly familiar names. Wandillo, good to have you back. Okay, great. Anything else before we wrap it up then, in case we have some more internet problems? And besides, we just about sorted out here anyway. And not much I can add on what I've just said. I hope it's all clear and you've got benefit. And patience is the name of the game at times, eh? Are we good?
Hi, Raj. Just a quick one before we're leaving. I logged in late or joined late. What is your take now on the yen?
Leave it alone, in my opinion. As I mentioned, to mention again, at 150 to the dollar, we had Japanese intervention. Sorry, Farney Company, I missed that opportunity to trade. I just don't know why. Very likely to happen. We could have taken advantage of it, but we didn't. But anyway, being as it may, I'm very iffy on the yen at the moment. If it gets back to 150, I might buy up the yen again, the BOJ, that is. This trend is still weak on the yen. So people, look at that candle there. See what I mean? Very iffy on it at the moment. Comes off, goes up again. Try shorter term. I would say clear the yen. I'm keeping powder dry to do the CHF. Where is it now? Here we are. Powder dry. I think it's going to be a nice opportunity to get hold of this one, but I'm going to just stay clear of the end for the moment. Let the dust settle. It shook up quite a few people on that. Look at that movement down, and that was basically almost within a second. Look at that movement on when the intervention came in.
Yeah, if you watch it on the 1 minute time frame, you can see how quickly it dropped within a minute.
Yeah, within a minute, bang. As it came out, what they did was they took, I don't know the size of it, to be honest, a massive, remember it's not cash, it's derivatives. They put it in deposit to expose a large amount. So 10 grand on a 10 to 1 leverage, you can buy 100 grand motor car, same principle. So they probably put 10, $20 billion in, but on 100 to 1 or whatever leverage yours, you're talking about maybe $200 or $300 billion buying the yen. Doesn't matter Swiss franc, just buying the bloody thing. And when they buy the yen at that rate, the currency itself, they've just bought it up. They're not selling anything else. They're just buying the yen up. And that had that massive move down. 270 pips in a like that before the profit taking came in, and it went up again. So it did miss an opportunity. Shouldn't really remind you of that, but I'm saying I put my hand up on that. Thought after was a bit of an idiot. Should have done that. But anyway, that being as it may, where we are now is where we are now. I want to buy this, but I might miss this opportunity. I'm prepared to risk missing the opportunity because it's very iffy at the moment on the yen, and they might do the same again if it gets to 150. The yen being so weak, it's caused them massive fuel problems because, as you know, the oil price is high and it's costing them more and more to buy. Like over here, as the rand weakens, it costs us more to buy petrol because it's measured in dollars. Went up another rand 10 up here yesterday as well. Didn't know, filled up yesterday. I did, but the point I'm trying to make is I would finally, I'd be cautious of playing around with the yen at the moment. Maybe get a better opportunity tomorrow or Friday. That's my opinion anyway. Are you good with that, Funny?
Because I'm happy. I was just looking at all the pairs, CAD, CHF, GDP, as well as the CHF and the euro, and all of them are iffy.
Well, all of them. Yeah, quite right. All of them. I mean, this is another one I wouldn't mind buying. I wouldn't mind buying the dollar yen. Those three above all of them. You can look at the others, but those three I want to buy. But I'm just steering clear at the moment. And you can see on the hourly chart, it's very, very indecisive. Guys are chomping the bit to buy it and sell the yen, basically. But they're worried because look at this. This is not a day. This is a minute. It actually happens quite quietly said. When the news released, they bought that amount. Bang. How much that came down? 200 pips in a minute. Well, less than a minute, actually. Some of them might have got, what do you call it? Slippage. Some of them might have got slippage on the stops as well, the guys going long. Well, everyone would have been short in the end. So it'd be long by definition if it was on the Canadian or whatever. And I think some guys would have got some slippage there. So hopefully, I don't think anybody was in the yen. So I think that should have been too much of an issue. Okay, guys, hope all clear. Please attend again tomorrow and prepare for a quiet week, but we can try and use it usefully where we can go over stuff and sharpen our skills in the meantime. Okay. Thank you as well. Okay, guys, learning a lot. That's what I want to hear. I need this feedback because I don't want to be boring you. I want you to be learning stuff. That's what I'm here for. Fantastic. Thanks for the feedback. Thank you, guys. Cheers. Thanks all. Thank you, Edwin. And thank you, Raina. Thank you. Cheers.